The Rugby Championship is here. The most anticipated Rugby Championship is here. The most competitive the Rugby Championship is going to be in a very long time is this year. Los Pumas beat every team once last year. The Wallabies at the moment are the best they've been in a very long time. All Blacks second year under Razor and building nicely. And the Springboks have never won a Rugby Championship / Tri-Nations title back-to-back ever. They will want to change that this year. What's up, guys? Dane here from Kick On Rugby Channel. And we're previewing the Rugby Championship this year. It's going to be the most competitive. It is the most anticipated. Can't wait for it. Who are your players to watch this year? Who's going to win it this year? Are you playing Rugby Championship Fantasy? Join the KO Cup. I'll leave the link in the description. This is the code if you want to manually join us. It's going to be weekly updates of the KO Cup Fantasy Rugby. How good. But let us know your thoughts in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already. Let's get into it. So, like I said, the Rugby Championship is going to be big. It's one of the most anticipated ones. It's going to be one of the most competitive ones, I think, for reasons like I said. Argentina last year beat every team once. This year, they're a stronger side. Another year together, and I feel like they're going to push. They've never won the Rugby Championship, and they want to push to get their debut title under their belt. Wallabies have struggled the past couple of years, but at the moment, they are the strongest they've been in a very long time. Off the back of a very competitive tour versus the British and Irish Lions. They didn't win it, but were very competitive. The aggregate score was only 1 point difference. So when you look at it and in a 2-1 loss, they only lost on points aggregate by 1 point. So very competitive throughout, and we'll be going into this year's Rugby Championship with their tails up, with a bit of confidence. Love what Joe Schmidt, Les Kiss are doing with the side. Les Kiss now joining because Joe Schmidt will be leaving as head coach. So Les Kiss will be jumping in there. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about it there. And then, like I said, All Blacks under Razor for their second year, building nicely. He's building depth throughout his squad. Can't wait for that. And then Rassie Erasmus and the Springboks have never won back-to-back Rugby Championship titles. So I would love to see that record broken as a Springbok fan, but I'm sure the Springboks would love to see that record broken as well. So we'll look at Los Pumas squad quickly. I'll have that up here. You've got the forwards there. No big surprises there. You've got Nicholas as a debutant and Boris Wegner there as a debutant with stars next to their names. You're obviously looking at their stalwarts and Pablo Matera and Marcos Kremer to be leading the front physically. You've got Julian Montoya there as well. Someone like Franco Molina has been outstanding for them over the past couple of years. And then in the backs, and you've got these backs are becoming household names. You've got Santiago Carreras, Mateo Carreras. You've got Santiago Chocobaras, Lucio Cinti, the guys in the centers. And then John Cruz Malia is there as well. Rodrigo Iskro and Thomas Albonos, the big man at 10, was outstanding for Argentina last year. I think he got top point scorer as well. And he was my 10 of the tournament last year, and he was unreal. He was really good for Los Pumas in their win over the British and Irish Lions this year as well. But my man to look out for, player to watch in this Los Pumas side is Rodrigo Iskro. Plays for Harlequins in the Premiership. Played for I don't know how many years for the Los Pumas on the World 7 circuit. Winger, strong, fast, gets through a ton of work. I think in the British and Irish Lions game, made like 4 turnovers, 13 tackles. Like it was wild. For a winger, gets through a ton of work like that. And him and his wing partner, Mateo Carreras, a very similar build, very strong, very dynamic. And when you've got guys inside them like Albonos, Chocobaras, and then Juan Cruz Malia out the back to create space for these guys, they're going to finish, man. So look to them to be put in your fantasy squad as well, but just keep an eye out for them as well. They'll be outstanding. Then jumping over to the Wallaby squad, like I said, Joe Schmidt, this is his last bit of head coach involvements that he'll have is the Rugby Championship. He'll be working closely alongside Les Kiss, who will be taking over. So it'll be interesting to see how that goes. You're looking at the squad that they've got there, the two new caps in, or guys that haven't played for the Wallabies yet. Aiden Ross, we all know him formerly with the Chiefs, now with the Reds, and involved in the Wallabies squad. Yeah, and then Corey Toole at the back. Oh, sorry, Ryan Lonergan is there as well. Corey Toole, love him. Very fast, just sublime finisher. Love to see him get a bit of minutes there. But good to see someone like Lukan Salakai Lotu in. Was outstanding. I didn't know why he didn't get any game time versus the British and Irish Lions. Really got under their skin in the 3 games he did play against them for Reds, Oz, New Zealand Invitational, and the Pacifica side. So I'd love to see him and Skelton and Valentini and Tupou all up against some of the biggest names in world rugby. Love to see that happen. My guys to look out for here. First, up front, probably Nick Champion de Crepney. I hope he gets minutes. A big body. Played in the first test versus the British and Irish Lions. Plays for the Western Force. Big body. Bruising ball carrier, loves to get in the thick of it. So he's my man to watch there. You've obviously got the guys like Will Skelton, Salakai Lotu, Rob Valentini, Fraser McGrath, all those guys as well. But then I'm looking out the back and I'm looking at the big names of Joseph Akuso Suali'i and Len Ikitau. Come into their own in the back end of that British and Irish Lions tour, and their attack revolves around them. Their defense revolves around those guys as well. If they are playing well, creating opportunities, being physical on defense, it puts that whole Wallabies side in a better position. Same can be said for some of those forwards I mentioned, Will Skelton, Valentini. Those big names for this Wallaby side need to step up, need to be physical, and need to lead the charge in this one. So look to those guys to throw them in your fantasy side. But if you're just watching as well, look to those guys because they're going to have big competitions, big tournaments this game round. Also love to see James O'Connor still in the Wallabies squad kicking. Love that. Then we'll jump over to the All Black squad and a host of new players in there. So Simon Parker officially in, big body in there from the Chiefs, bruising ball carrier, physical on defense. Says he molds his game, or he's modelling his game after Jerome Kaino. Perfect person to copy that for sure. Then you've got the injury cover in Carl Preston, Leroy Carter as well. Boomfar can cover a ton of positions. Love to see if those guys get opportunity there. And second year under Razor, he said he wants to be more physical. He wants bigger bodies to be more mobile. And that's the squad that he is building here. Depth throughout all positions as well. You've got guys playing, or guys that can play at multiple positions. And it'll be interesting to see how he goes around team selections, how he goes around his layout of his bench as well. My guys to watch, Fabian Holland up front, outstanding for the All Blacks versus the French side. Played all 3 games, full 80 minutes. He's got that Brodie Retallick, Sam Whitelock hybrid mix. He's only 20, 21, I think it is. Still got a long international career ahead of him. And I hope injuries don't tamper with that because I could see him playing in 10 years' time, running out for the All Blacks in his 100th test cap. Outstanding up front. So the new player, Simon Parker as well. Then I'm looking at guys like Duplessis Karifi, Peter Lakai, Wallace Atiti to come back after a string of injuries, get back in there and get back to how he was running international rugby last year. Breakthrough player of the year. Can't wait to see him going. And in the backs, really love to see someone like Ruben Love get time. Outstanding, skillful player, can cover fullback, wing, fly off as well. And then someone like Timothy Tavatavanawe. But I'm also looking at your stalwarts in Geordie Barrett, the vice captain here, but man, been outstanding for Leinster. He's come back now, has changed his game a little bit, more rounded player. And All Black 12 jumper is his. Love to see him make a big statement this tournament. And then the Bokke, the Springboks, looking to make history. First ever back-to-back. They've never done it before. Rugby Championship titles. The squad and Rassie will be looking to take that on for sure. Strong squad, man. The depth within that. Also bringing in new players. You're looking at guys like all of these guys have played for the Bokke before. There's no out and like debutants that need to still make their test debut, but there's a handful of players that have only played 1 or 2 games. I'm looking at guys like Jean-Luc du Preez, made his debut for the Springboks a while ago, was cut from the squad, gone over and played for Sale Sharks. He's now back in the squad. Jean-Luc du Preez, strong with the base of the scrum, physical, big number 8. And he can put his hand up for that number 8 spot. Jasper Wiese, obviously red carded, still sitting out with suspension. Looking at Jean-Luc to put both hands up to cement that 8 jersey there for sure. And in the backs, I'm looking at Grant Williams. You all know him. The number 9, fast off the base of the scrum, off the base of the ruck as well. And I'm looking at him to have a big tournament because that number 9 jersey is kind of still up for grabs. Faf de Klerk, obviously not in the squad here. You've got Morne van den Berg, you've got Kobus Reinach, who is in. That number 9 jersey is still up for grabs, but I'm looking at Grant Williams to have a big tournament. Ethan Hooker as well, someone that's newly within the squad, can cover center, can cover wing, strong ball runners, got that little bit of X factor as well, very fast off the mark. So you're looking at these guys. Edward van der Merwe as well, has played 3 games, I think it is, with 4 tries scored. Outstanding. Another winger with a scrum cap on. Devastating opponents. And he's got tough competition. Obviously, Kirtley, Oren Sanchez and Colby are 2 of the best wingers in world rugby, but you've got someone like Edward van der Merwe banging on that door. Outstanding. Look to those guys to put them in your fantasy squads as well, and also keep a close eye on them. Man, this is, like I said, it's going to be one of the most competitive rugby championships we've ever seen in a very long time. I'm not making too many bold predictions. I made that in my preview a few weeks ago, but I'm going Springboks to go back-to-back. Looking forward to that Eden Park game. Can the Springboks break the curse? 50 years the All Blacks haven't lost there. Oh man, there's so many. The matchups, I can't wait for it. There's going to be more previews. Obviously, this week when the teams get announced, I'll be uploading a lot more previews going into it. Join the fantasy. I've got the description down in the comments. What bold predictions are you making? What are your hot takes for the Rugby Championship? Who are your players to look out for? Who are your must-haves in your fantasy? Let me know in the comments. I've got the Springboks to go back-to-back for their first ever time. Their first ever. They've never done it before. What do you guys think? What are your predictions? Let me know in the comments. Hit that subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you next time. Bye.